All right, as I look around for some cars to break down, I might as well share with you what my beef is with car loans. I don't know if you guys realize it or not, but the average car payment in the U.S. is $563 a month for a brand new car. The average car payment for a used car is $397 a month, which seemed a little bit high to me. And for somebody that's leasing a car, the average cost is $450 a month. Now, on top of all this, the average APR on car loans in the United States is 9.46%, with a range of 5% for very good credit people to 22-23% for those with crappy credit. You know, those buy here, pay here kind of places. And when it comes to car loans, if you've got a new car, you're going to be in that loan for about 70 months. Almost, 6 years, I guess. And if you've bought a used car, the average term is 65 months. The average lease is 37 months. But really, all of that is kind of bogus, fictional numbers, because most people, they go out and get a new car as soon as they pay off their old one. It is really kind of ridiculous. You see, new cars depreciate as soon as you drive them off the lot. In other words, as soon as you drive that car away from the dealership, you are instantly upside down in your loan. That's my biggest beef with car loans and car payments in general, is that when shopping for cars, people rarely take into account repair costs. Most people have no repair fund. Now, you might be saying, oh, well, if you're buying a new car, why are you worried about repair costs? Oh, because you're going to need tires, you're going to need brakes, you're going to need belts, you're going to need oil changes, you're going to need to do maintenance on your car. That's why you want to have a repair fund before you even go into it. Just wiper blades, headlights, and oil changes is going to drive you into the poorhouse. So, yeah, you should absolutely have a repair fund. A lot of people also don't bother to take into account insurance costs. And in particular, my favorite is they don't even know when they're looking at cars, is this car considered a luxury car or a sports car? Because if it is absolutely going to cost you out the wazoo in insurance on that car. So that creates a problem for folks. And just to add to the joy of that, remember I said new people are people that buy new cars are instantly upside down in their loans as soon as they drive off. Well, that's created a rise in something called gap coverage. So not only do you pay for car insurance, but you have to pay for a rider to make sure that your car will be paid off if you're in an accident and the insurance company values your car at less than what you still owe on the car. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to not like about car loans. And then to go along with that, you've got higher taxes and fees the newer the car that you buy. So my beef, if I were to just sum it up into a statement, is poor or no planning when it comes to car purchases, and then a never-ending cycle of debt when you do buy a car. Okay, the interest costs alone on your car, if you're paying 9.46%, it's no wonder you've got no money to invest. And if you were only getting a 10 to 12% rate of return, you would barely be making anything on your investments. Here's, in fact, a big question for you that goes along with my beef on car loans and financing cars. Does your monthly investments, do they at least equal your car payment? Because that is telling right there. And I can tell you, as a matter of fact, for most of the people that I sat down with, the answer was an absolute no. They had, usually if I sat down with a couple, they had 2 car loans, 2 car payments, and very little investments between them. Whatever the company happened to be matching in the 401k at work at best. That is most of the people. So that is why We continue to have a problem in this country with people not being able to retire or having a piss poor quality of living when they do retire. People depending on Social Security system when they retire instead of taking their financial security into their own hands. So yeah, there is a lot of issues to be had when it comes to car loans and car payments. So, what is the solution? Because I don't like just bitching about a problem, I like to offer solutions. The solution is to pay cash. I try to catch people when they're young. It's much easier when you're first starting out. If you're young and still in school, then of course you should be working a job and saving up money for a car, typically while you're borrowing your parents or relying on your parents to take you from place to place, right? You should save up a few $1,000s so that you can buy a beater. Once you've got that beater, well, then you start making a car payment to yourself instead of spending a car payment and interest to somebody else. And then you could be saving up. In no time flat, you can have a few $1,000s saved up to buy a nicer, newer car. And then you just simply rinse and repeat. And all the money that you would have spent on insurance, higher taxes, interest, and fees is instead being socked away to go towards the car that you want to buy. The last two cars that we bought, that was the case. We spent a little better than $7,000, almost $8,000 on a 10-year-old car. And the newest car that we'd ever bought between my wife and I was 3 years old. We paid $13,000 for it because somebody else had already taken the hit in freaking depreciation on their car. It was a nice Toyota Camry. Actually a sports model, but we knew that going in. We kind of knew what we wanted to get going in. My wife likes a car that corners on rails. Okay, so hey, we saved up. We were able to afford exactly what we wanted. Okay, but guys, these are the things that I want you to keep in mind as you're car shopping. Okay, before you go and start looking at cars, bother to do a little bit of research. Hey, what are the cars that get repaired the least and have the least expensive repairs? That's a great place to start. And how much money do you have saved up for your car? If your answer is nothing and you still have working automobiles, then keep driving those until you do save up some money to go be able to pay cash for a car, especially if the cars that you have are already paid off. Are they not nice looking? Would you like something better, a little more reliable? Sure. And you've got to do a bit of cost-benefit analysis to make that decision. I understand. But guys, that's the state of things right now. Don't go into debt buying a car. And for Pete's sake, don't just go to the dealership. Oh, what are you looking for? Oh, I'm looking for something that'll cost me $300 a month. That's a stupid way to shop. And I'm sorry to be so matter-of-fact with some people, but it really is. No. Go knowing ahead of time what you can really afford. Go being able to put down some cash on it. Make sure that your investments are at least equal to your car payment. If you are going to go and get a car payment, if not, then you need to be buying less of a car and saving up or getting an extra job until you've got enough money saved up to get the kind of car that you want. As always, guys, if you've got questions, if you disagree with something I've said, whatever the case may be, hit me with it in the comments below this video or hit me at fustyandfinance@gmail.com.